les milieux d'affaires, professionnels et sociaux de nos membres. Le principal objectif des services que nous offrons est le développement des affaires et des contacts professionnels au-delà de la simple pratique de la mise en revue. Nous vous invitons à découvrir notre association. The Canadian Italian Business and Professional Association was founded in 1949, and for almost 70 years, we have maintained the annual tradition of hosting a President's Cocktail for our members and special guests. In 1967, we started another tradition, rendering homage to outstanding individuals in the community for their hard work and dedication to improving our society. This is known as our Person of the Year. Tonight, we are here to celebrate and honor our Person of the Year, Mr. John Zeppetelli, Director and Chief Curator of the Musée d'Art Contemporain de Montréal. C'est maintenant avec grand plaisir que je vous présente le 32e président de la Cibpa de Montréal, Salvatore Cimino. Et M. Cimino est impliqué avec notre association depuis 10 ans. Il est vice-président de Clarity Inc. Et j'aimerais maintenant passer la parole à M. Cimino.
Buonasera, good evening. I would like to welcome to this year's President Cocktail. Among all the events that we do through the years, this one is particularly important in maintaining the special relationship that we have with the membership. I would like to have the members of the board approach in the front here so that everybody gets recognized. Please. Phil, everybody else that is present, Sandro. While they're approaching, I would also like to acknowledge a few people among us that in the past and even presently are playing a great role in an important role in our life as an association. We are pleased to have with us the Consul General from Italy, Marco Riccardo Rusconi. We were supposed to have Rita DeSantis, but she's not here. But we also have some of the past presidents of the Cibpa that is important to mention because I'm walking their shoes. I have Mike Goriani, Robert Rinaldi, Frank Ruccolo, and the others are in Florida probably, I think I would try. Let's not forget though some of the emeritus members. We have John Ambrosio, John, Mr. Giuseppe Di Battista, that are members emeritus. These are members that have done major work and major support for our association. Last year has been a challenging year. A community project did not pan out as expected. However, we learned a lot from that, and yes, spun a renewed sense of willingness to work together. As a matter of fact, we have several presidents and representatives from our association here. I want to thank Tony Lofreda from the FCCI that is here as a president of the FCCI and also as a friend of the Cibpa. Thank you, Tony. We have Joe Pannunzio, from president of the Centro Leonardo da Vinci. Joe Frattino, president of the Sons of Italy. Egidio Vincelli, president of the West Island Association. Perry Mezzante is here in representing Gino Berretta as the president of the Casa d'Italia, right here. And of course, Josie Derillo, which is representing Tony Sciascia for the Congresso. Thank you for being here. We are determined to work together ensemble, insieme. Cibpa also reaches out and maintains contacts with other community. With us, we have Elana Mintz from the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs. We also have done events with the Hellenic Board of Trade. So we try to maintain these different connections. For the guests that are here and that do not know that aspect of the Cibpa, We are the founding chapters of an organization that spans today across Canada. We have quite a few chapters in Ontario, Calgary, Winnipeg, and opening up in Vancouver, all grouped under the National Federation of Cibpas. Through our association, the members can take advantage of this network of contacts. Our members and supporters also know the strength of this association and how much it has done for the community over the years. I thought of giving you an exhaustive list of what is done, but I've been threatened with bodily harm if I go over my allotted time. So as I mentioned, Montreal was the first, founded in 1949, which makes us 69 years old. Next year we'll be 70, and we're looking good. I've thus declared this year one for preparation for celebration. We have a lot planned, particularly for next year, and we want as many as possible to join into the fun. For this reason, we are launching today a membership drive. We have added events and new perks, such as discounts to restaurants, for example. Consequently, we think the more, the merrier. And I'm asking our members and our friends to be our ambassadors, to spread, or consuls, to spread the message that with the Canadian Italian Business and Professional Association, we can keep the Italian community relevant and strong within the fabric of the Canadian society. I will thus leave you with this imperative: go forth and multiply.
Ed ora vorrei invitare il console generale dell'Italia di Montreal, il signor Marco Riccardo Rusconi, per condividere qualche parola.
Signore e signori, buonasera, bonsoir à tout le monde, good evening everybody. I would like to thank Salvatore to give me the opportunity to be here with you tonight. And I appreciate what you said, Salvatore, because you said that the Italian community must be relevant. Being relevant is not easy, because to be relevant you have to be credible, you have to be honest, you have to be creative. E noi questo un po' lo sappiamo fare, no? Creative for sure, honest, we try. Incredible, it depends on the counterpart at the end of the day, no? But the majority of Italians that I met here in this year and a half of my service in Montreal, I mean, are people of entrepreneurs, no? Donc, comme ça, je passe au français. Je m'excuse, je ne parle pas encore la langue qu'on parle aujourd'hui en Israël, mais je sais qu'il y a aussi la personne que je remercie pour être là, je ne trouve pas, pour aussi essayer de faire des expériences ensemble avec les deux communautés, donc the Jewish community and the Italian community, because the Consul General of Israel just arrived to Montreal. The first colleague he meets is Italian colleague. Why so? Because you have a community which is more litigiosa, no? Which disputes more than mine. No, mine is the top litigiosa. No? So we have many things in common, but we have also the idea of developing things and also doing business, which is important because by doing business we can ameliorate our conditions, also the conditions of the fabric, another word that I take from Salvatore of Montreal. So be relevant means doing big things. E voi ne avete fatte molte, e il cocktail del Presidente e la personalità dell'anno è un grande evento. La Casa d'Italia ha fatto grandi cose e fa grandi cose, l'Ordine dei Fratelli d'Italia anche, e il Centro Leonardo da Vinci. And also the Consulate General is trying to do big things. For instance, a National Day. Last year we celebrated in the Saputo Stadium, and this year we will celebrate again in Saputo Stadium, and we will invite 10,000 people, invitees. It's a big concert and a big event, because we have to be relevant. La gente si deve accorgere che ci siamo. Ci siamo e contiamo perché siamo pesanti. Siamo pesanti quando siamo assieme e facciamo le cose assieme. E quando facciamo le cose mettendole assieme, no? I think that the best feature of us Italians is that we are able to connect things that appear not connectable. Quindi noi mettiamo assieme business and art, creativity and money, inclusiveness and luxury, no? E quindi I'm happy that I understand that there will be somebody who will take the floor in a few minutes, che è il direttore che ha responsabilità nel mondo dell'arte. Ma l'arte è molte cose, perché l'arte sono i quadri, ma l'arte è il design. L'Italia è un paese leader nel design. Molti italiani qui hanno fatto molte cose in design. I use this floor, to promote events that we do. We organize a big event on design here, and we are really a big success because Italy is associated with design. There are many Italian designers here, and also someone in Italy. We are trying to connect more Montreal and Italy, Montreal and Milan for design. So our ability to put things together, to connect things together, to see connections where nobody else can see them, it's important. And this is a specific mandate of art, I would say, because art is a capacity of doing things and connecting. Quindi complimenti per l'evento di questa sera, per la buona scelta della personalità da premiare e per la vostra voglia, il vostro impegno sempre di fare cose, di farle assieme in questa casa con altre organizzazioni, ognuno con la sua libertà e autonomia, ma tutti con un obiettivo comune. Grazie e buona serata.
Once again, I would like to invite the Cibpa president, Mr. Salvatore Cimino, and our honored guest, Mr. John Zeppetelli, on stage to present this year's Person of the Year award.
I selfishly believe that as Italians, we have a special gene in our DNA that has to do with the arts and culture. As a nation, we have contributed an enormous amount of it in the world. Here in Quebec, we can trace Italian artists all the way back to 300 years ago. But it seems that we are also good at curating it. Cibpa 2017 Person of the Year is an award-winning filmmaker. He has curated the Media Arts Festival in Europe and Canada, and he is also today, since 2013, the director and curator of the Musée d'Art Contemporain de Montreal. I give you John Zeppetelli. John, it's a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is the phone.
With your name.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I keep just as
Okay.
for you, and while you're take the floor.
Thank you. Maybe we can integrate that into the collection of the map.
Yes.
Which we do have to do. Thank you so much. I'm really touched by this recognition. Merci infiniment à tous d'être là. Grazie. Salvatore, thank you and thank you very much again, forgive me for repeating myself, to the board members of Cibpa for this very kind recognition. We sometimes labor away. Well, in my case, it's quite public, so it was very nice to get this recognition from the community and from this neighborhood, which I actually hail from. I began my life here. Sono anche molto felice di conoscere finalmente il nostro console, la ringrazio di essere qui stasera. I want to talk to you about the MAC, which is the Musée d'Art Contemporain de Montréal, qui est une institution fondée, instituée par le gouvernement du Québec en 1964. Donc nous avons une histoire de plus de 50 ans, à l'initiative d'artistes, de collectionneurs, de galeristes, pour mettre sur place un lieu de promotion, d'acquisition, d'exposition pour l'art québécois bien sûr, mais l'art canadien et un contexte pour l'art international. Donc le MAC a toujours eu comme but de confronter nos grands artistes québécois avec leurs homologues de l'international. The MAC is a wonderful institution right in the middle of the city in the Quartier des Spectacles. I'm going to talk to you later about its future. We have some amazing renovation plans. The MAC has an important mandate. It's at the very center of artistic life in Montreal. We're talking about current art. This is, contemporary art is the practices in the studios at the moment. Not like the other wonderful museum run by my colleagues, which has very established artists with enormous intellectual history behind them. We sometimes, our role is to take chances with artists, sometimes exhibiting stuff fresh out of the studio that hasn't been tested, hasn't been considered maybe, except for the curators, of course, and we deem it to be interesting and important and want to share it with other people. Contemporary art is sometimes a tricky area, even though our attendances are astronomical at the moment, and they keep getting bigger and bigger. The trend worldwide is to build contemporary art museums. So it's a field in complete expansion, and on the other hand, you also hear endless little complaints about how difficult it sometimes is to understand what a contemporary artwork is and the work that's needed. But I want you to know that the rewards are enormous once you spend a little time with a fantastic work of art, which can actually be very life-altering. Art has been life-altering for me. It's been a source of incredible emotional and spiritual nourishment, and I want to be able to transmit this powerful force to as many people as I possibly can in my role as director of the MAC. At the moment, we have this amazing exhibition with centered around this amazing Montreal figure who is Leonard Cohen, who passed away just last year. We began this exhibition 2 years before his death. So this is not an opportunistic exhibition which simply wants to benefit from his notoriety after his death. Not at all. We were celebrating a living artist and felt very confirmed and vindicated in our somewhat unorthodox choice when his album, You Want It Darker, came out just a few weeks before he died. An amazing album that made it to so many top 10 lists around the world, and he was 82 years old and still making relevant culture. So we organized this exhibition as a tribute, as a loving, critical tribute, which then necessarily, of course, morphed into something much more commemorative, because we had to include also the commemoration of his death. It was an amazing week in November, which began with a highly publicized concert at the Bell Center with all kinds of amazing stars that gave le coup d'envol pour une semaine de célébration Leonard Cohen. The following evening, projections of his texts on the silo number 5 in the Old Port, where the American artist projected very majestically and silently Leonard Cohen's poems in French and in English in this very iconic structure. And the evening after that, we inaugurated a show in the museum, which is now, we just sent a press release today, have achieved 200,000 visitors, which is a record for the MAC, and an amazing testament to the enduring power and eloquence of this great man, Leonard Cohen, who was, of course, a novelist, a poet, and also a musician. So the exhibition is very multidisciplinary, with immersive environments full of music, immersive environments where Cohen is in interview, and all kinds of artists' reflections on different aspects of his cultural production. It's not a biographical show that pulls out his fedoras or his suits or family pictures, but a very considered artistic response to the many facets of this great man's life. So it's been an incredibly emotional experience, and we're so delighted and pleased that the visitors seem to be responding, and we're now planning a tour around the world, and hopefully we'll get it to Italy at some stage, perhaps with the help of our friendly consul generale. What else can I say? The future at the MAC is also extremely promising. I'm not authorized at the moment to announce the winner of the architectural competition, but there is a winner. I know because I was on the jury. And it just needs to be confirmed by the Conseil des Ministres. So we will have an amazingly renovated MAC in the year 2021. And so we have 1 year of program left in our current building, and then we'll reopen after a 2-year renovation where the MAC's activities will move to a secondary space. So we will still be present, but not as emphatically and as totally as we are now, to reopen with a splendid new building. Mainly the changes occur on the inside and a new kind of envelope and skin on the outside. It's a fantastic building that we're extremely proud of and can't wait for it to be unveiled. It's a very long process working with architects and engineers and with endless meetings, but I think the final result will be something that we will all be proud of and will make noise not only in Canada but around the world. After Leonard Cohen, we have 2 wonderful exhibitions as well. We're celebrating a Mexican-Canadian artist called Rafael Lozano-Hemmer, a really big retrospective. It's a co-production with the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. And then we're closing the program at the MAC with a show around manifestos, artistic manifestos, by a German filmmaker called Julian Rosfeld, who has concocted an amazing 13-screen environment where the actor Kate Blanchett impersonates or incarnates 13 different roles which dramatize dozens and dozens of artistic manifestos from the 20th and 21st century. Very exciting video installation in conjunction with an exhibition on historical manifestos throughout the century. So I don't know if any of you visit the MAC, but I certainly hope that you will catch the Leonard Cohen show before it closes. And thank you very much for listening and for being here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zeppetelli. This was a very inspiring speech, a lot of information, and I'll be definitely visiting soon. I'm sure a lot of us will as well, right? Yes, of course. Okay, so this evening, you want to take pictures now? After? After? Okay, very good. Almost done. And then we'll take pictures. This evening would not have been possible without the generous contribution from our sponsors for the Casa d'Italia, of course, and Traiteur Bon Appétit. Thank you very much. And we are also thanking our wonderful volunteers, Terry Laurito, Maria Altomare, and Luisa Papa, of course. Thank you so much. And also a special thank you to the members of the board of directors, and who are all up here, and we would like to take a picture, and we will continue to take the rest of the pictures as well. We can do this right now, actually. We'll take the pictures right away. So the board of directors.